Good morning, friends. Rather early good morning, friends. It is 4 o'clock. Friends, I am going to discuss important case law that is in the examination of advocate on record. Friends, this case law is Minerva Mills versus Union of India. The judgment was delivered in 1980. So, friends, this case is a landmark judgment in Indian constitution law that reinforced basic structure doctrine which was established in the Keshavananda Bharti case, and it further clarified the relationship between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. It struck down amendments to the constitution that were seen as a threat to its basic structure. So, friends, going to the background of the case, Minerva Mill, a textile company which was located in Karnataka, was taken over by the Indian government under the provisions of the Sikh Textile Undertakings Nationalization Act of 1974. The company challenged the takeover, claiming it violated the fundamental rights under Article 14, that is, right to equality, and under Article 19, that is, right to property and freedom of business. It further challenged Section 4 and Section 55 of the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, which expanded Parliament's amending power under Article 368. The amendment stated that any law giving effect to the directive principles of state policies could not be challenged on the ground of violating fundamental rights. So, friends, the issues raised in this petition were whether sections 4 and 55 of the 42nd Amendment violated the basic structure doctrine. Second issue raised was whether the balance between fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policy was disturbed by these provisions, whether Parliament's amending power under Article 368 was unlimited. These were the three issues on which the judgment was delivered by the Honorable Supreme Court. While giving judgment, Honorable Supreme Court, it was a case heard by five judges benches, and the judgment was delivered on 31st July 1980. The court ruled in favor of the Minerva Mills and struck down the impugned sections of 42nd Amendment, that is, Section 4 and 55 of the 42nd Amendment were struck down. So, friends, the key rulings in this judgment are: firstly, the basic structure doctrine was upheld. The Honorable Court reaffirmed the doctrine established in Keshavananda Bharti case. It further held that Parliament's power to amend the Constitution is not absolute and is subjected to basic structure doctrine of the Constitution. It further declared sections 4 and 55 of the 42nd Amendment invalid. So, friends, what are those sections? I am going to explain. Section 4 amended Article 31C to give primacy to directive principles of state policy over fundamental rights. It allowed laws implementing directive principles of state policy to override Article 14 and 19, even if they violated the basic structure doctrine. The court struck down these two sections stating that it was unconstitutional. Section 55 prohibited judicial review of constitutional amendments, effectively making Parliament's amending power limitless, unlimited. This was also struck down as it violated the basic structure doctrine of the Constitution. Friends, this judgment balanced created balance between the fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. The court emphasized that both fundamental rights and directive principles of the state policies are essential for the Constitution's integrity and must coexist harmoniously. Fundamental rights ensure individual freedoms, while directive principles of state policy guide the state in achieving socio-economic justice. Neither can be prioritized to the detriment of the other. It further limited the amending power. The court ruled that judicial review is part of the Constitution's basic structure. Parliament cannot amend the Constitution in a way that destroys its or damages its basic structure. So, friends, significance of the judgment is it protected fundamental rights. The judgment protected individual rights from being subordinated entirely to the directive principles. It further strengthened judicial review. Honorable Court judgment reaffirmed the judicial's role as the guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that amendments do not violate its core principles. It further laid checks on Parliament's power. The decision limited Parliament's power to amend the Constitution, ensuring that democratic principles and rule of the law remained intact. Foundation for future cases. The MINERVA mill judgment has been cited in numerous subsequent cases to uphold constitutional values and prevent arbitrary state actions. So, friend, if we say what are the key takeaways from the judgment, firstly, fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy must be balanced to achieve the objective of our Constitution. The basic structure doctrine ensures that Parliament cannot destroy essential constitutional features, including judicial review, democracy, and individual freedoms. Judicial review is integral to protecting the Constitution's integrity. So, friends, I am concluding this topic by reading out the conclusion of this judgment. So, friends, this MINERVA mill is a landmark judgment in Indian constitutional history, strengthening the concept of basic structure doctrine and protecting citizens' fundamental rights from arbitrary amendments. It reaffirms the Constitution's supremacy and establishes a clear framework for balancing individual rights with state-directed social justice. So, friends, this is all about in this topic. This is very important case law, which is repeatedly being asked in the advocate on record examination. So go through it seriously and have a blessed result of your examination. That's all. God bless you all.